No, she's not.
No, she's not. No, she's not.
You guys can't.
Oh my God! He killed her.
She's not good.
Oh my God!
Oh no!
I fucking knew this was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen.
Angela Pritchard, a hardworking woman from Bellevue, Iowa, was just starting her day. On the morning of October 8th, 2022, she left home at 7:20 a.m. to open the Mississippi Ridge boarding kennel where she worked. It was a routine she followed every day. But what she didn't know was that someone had already broken into the kennel hours before, and he wasn't there to drop off a dog. Angela arrived at the kennel at 7:34 a.m. She parked her car, got out, and started walking in with her belongings. Surveillance cameras captured everything: her calm approach, her unlocking the door and stepping inside. But in less than 6 minutes, everything would change forever. At exactly 7:39 a.m., Angela made a chilling 911 call. Her voice was panicked.
911?
Can you please get out of here?
Okay, where are you at?
She said someone named Chris was there. Before she could even explain what was happening, the call was cut off by the sound of a gunshot. Then, silence. Police rushed to the scene, desperate to help. But it was too late. Inside the kennel's washroom, Angela was found lying face down in a pool of blood. She had been shot and killed.
Law Center 21.
21, go ahead.
I'm approaching the kennel now. I do see one vehicle out front, one vehicle. Black Jeep.
The only other thing left behind was the haunting recording of her final moments. There was no sign of the shooter, but investigators quickly learned the name Angela had said in her last breath. Chris wasn't just anyone. Chris Pritchard was her estranged husband. The two had been separated for some time, and those close to Angela later revealed Chris had grown increasingly obsessive and controlling. The relationship had turned into emotional abuse and torment over the past year and a half. Investigators began piecing together what had happened. They pulled security footage from the property and started creating a timeline. At first, the early hours of the day seemed quiet, but at exactly 4:20 a.m., more than 3 hours before Angela arrived, the dogs inside the kennel suddenly began barking.
Clear that building. Law Center 21. We got lady down, lady down.
That, detectives believed, was the moment Chris arrived. He had snuck onto the property in the dark and was hiding inside, waiting. Angela had no idea he was there. When she stepped inside the kennel that morning, she walked straight into a trap.
Oh my!
The bad thing is it isn't over yet. Do you guys have any clue where he could be?
He's not even here.
No.
Oh my God!
So,
Oh my God!
be careful at your place.
No!
Notify your family.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
You have no clue?
No.
You don't have any inclination on where he could have been staying this past 5 days?
The only thing that we heard was Bob Johnson's, and I told the
We
cop
went out
that.
there. We went out there.
Oh my God!
No kidding.
Oh my God!
The footage also revealed more. At 7:41 a.m., just 2 minutes after the gunshot, cameras captured a man walking away from the kennel into the nearby woods. Investigators were almost certain it was Chris. When they showed the footage to Angela's family, they confirmed it was him.
You clearly see Chris on any of these surveillance cameras?
Yes, we believe we see him leaving and actually walking from the kennel area down to the fence area here behind me. That makes us believe that this is the first area that we need to check.
Police began searching the area immediately. The kennel was isolated, surrounded by acres of farmland, thick woods, and not far from the Mississippi River. Finding Chris wouldn't be easy, but they weren't giving up. As they investigated further, detectives noticed a faint trail of blood leading away from Angela's body through the kennel and out a back door.
He knows the outdoors. I knew that he could probably survive out there for quite a while in hiding.
Since Angela hadn't moved, they concluded the blood had to belong to Chris, possibly injured during the struggle.
leading out of this room and then into the dog kennel area through this door. We believe our assailant traveled from that area through here, left some blood evidence, and then likely went out this door directly in front of us.
Neighbors were questioned. One local confirmed that Chris had been known to visit the area now and then, but no one had seen him recently.
There's hundreds of acres here of farmland and woods, and we have the Mississippi River not far away. So knowing that he could have went any direction really makes the search difficult.
You know Chris Pritchard, don't you?
Is that the guy they're looking for?
Right there, Chris Pritchard. Has he been known to come out here every once in a while?
Yeah, I haven't seen him though today.
The manhunt had begun, but Chris Pritchard had vanished into the wilderness. The murder of Angela Pritchard wasn't random. It was calculated. The killer waited in the shadows for hours, choosing the perfect moment. And now, police were left chasing a man who knew the land, knew his victim, and knew exactly how to disappear. From this point forward, detectives were sure of one thing. Chris Pritchard was at the crime scene when Angela was murdered. But they still didn't know which direction he fled in or why he took such a brutal step. The mystery was far from solved, and now the manhunt began. Officers used every resource available, canines, drones, even airplanes, to track him down.
We have every resource at our disposal to try and do this manhunt. We have canines, we have airplanes, we have drones.
As the search for Chris widened, investigators needed to understand what pushed him to kill. That's when they learned more about his disturbing past with Angela. The story started years earlier when Angela and Chris first met. He had seemed like a kind and respectful man, friendly, hardworking, and fun to be around. Angela trusted him.
I would have trusted him with our children. He was nice, friendly, sincere, a hard worker, fun to be around.
After dating him for nearly 2 years, she married him in March 2019, hoping for a happy future. But their happiness didn't last long. Just 8 months into the marriage, things started to change.
When did things change?
I truly think that things started to change when he lost his job. He got fired.
In late 2019, Chris lost his job and was later charged with first-degree theft. He was accused of stealing $36,000 worth of equipment from the electric company he worked for.
She was just beside herself. What are we going to do now? We need that income. He wasn't looking for work. He was definitely drinking more. As the months went on, it just was like, wow, he's really kind of changing.
This loss brought heavy pressure on Angela, who now had to carry all the financial weight. Meanwhile, Chris wasn't looking for work and started drinking more. Despite his downward spiral, Angela tried to support him, but by 2021, she discovered that Chris was using drugs too. His addiction worsened quickly. She hoped he would get better, but instead, things got worse.
She said, Chris hit me.
She said, he's drunk, he's on drugs. So I told her, we're going to call the cops.
In April 2022, Chris physically attacked her. Angela was left shaken and terrified. She had visible injuries, and it became clear that her safety was at risk.
He hit me and then I came in the house.
She was crying. She was visibly shaking. She had a mark on her face, and she said, I'm so scared.
That night, she reported him to the police, and Chris was arrested. Angela also received a temporary no-contact order to protect herself.
State of Iowa law requires that somebody goes to jail on physical domestic.
I can't believe I'm going to jail.
Well, she's got a mark on her face.
He's very, very, very messed up.
Yeah.
We've seen him change right in front of our eyes, haven't we?
But even after everything, she decided to give their marriage another chance.
The no-contact order now exists, protecting your sister, but a few weeks later, it's lifted.
Even after it happened, she said, I don't want this. I want our marriage to work. I believe he said everything that needed to be said for her to drop that order. The drinking will stop. He will be home more.
She lifted the order, believing that Chris could change and that they could fix things. Chris promised to stop drinking and stay at home more. Angela hoped those promises were real. Unfortunately, her hopes were false. Chris started drinking again, and soon Angela noticed strange things happening. She found hidden tracking devices in her car and small cameras secretly placed inside her home. Chris had been watching her every move, but this was only the beginning of what detectives would later uncover. Angela had been keeping notes, colorful sticky notes where she described the abuse in detail. She wrote about being stalked, insulted, and threatened.
August 23rd, text message, calling me names, saying it's going to get real ugly. He's been stalking me and watching me. Very scared of him. I think Chris is capable of anything. Booze and drugs every day. Said he doesn't give a if he goes to jail. Always looking over my shoulder to see if he's around.
She said she always had to look over her shoulder and feared what Chris might do, especially when he was drunk or high. Angela finally realized it had to end. She told her family she was scared and decided to separate for good.
She said, I'm scared of him, especially if he's been drinking. I told her, you need to get a divorce. You need to be done with this, Ange. This is it. We're not living in the same house.
On September 1st, 2022, Angela got a second no-contact order. This time, any violation was supposed to lead to Chris's arrest. But he didn't care.
But that doesn't stop Chris.
No. Once that second no-contact order got put in place, I would say that's when things went really downhill.
Shortly after, Angela returned to their shared house with police and her sister to collect her things. What they found inside was shocking. The house had been completely destroyed. Ink and paint thrown everywhere, furniture broken, and picture frames smashed. The mattress had been rubbed in dog feces, and guns were placed around the home to scare her.
We walked in the front door. The house was destroyed. There was ink and paint thrown everywhere.
Picture frames broken.
Furniture was destroyed. He had actually taken the mattress off her bed and rubbed it in dog feces.
Guns, and he placed them all over the house to intimidate her.
I mean, we both just started crying.
This is in clear violation of the restraining order.
Even though this violated the no-contact order, police said they couldn't take action because the house legally belonged to both of them. According to Iowa law, Chris should have lost access to his guns when the order was placed, but for unknown reasons, he still had them.
The police do.
The police said there's nothing we can do. This is his house.
There's nothing we can do is what they say to you.
This is his house as well.
Throughout September, Angela continued to live in fear. Chris kept texting her, stalking her, and even showed up at the kennel when she wasn't there. On September 15th, he was arrested for texting her, but was released the next day.
Following her, texting her, stalking her, going and cutting the grass at the kennels while she wasn't there.
Instead of calming him down, the arrest only seemed to make him more dangerous. Angela Pritchard's final weeks were filled with fear. Christopher Pritchard, her estranged husband, had started using intimidation tactics to scare her. He was seen driving past her house more than 6 times within an hour.
Driving by her house multiple times.
I don't feel safe anymore anywhere. My sisters, my house, my sons, stores in town.
You have a ticking time bomb on your hands.
Yeah, but pretty much, and that's what it felt like.
They said that they'd tell him to knock it off or have a talk with him. Nothing was done. And she was terrified.
You're reaching out to police. They're not doing anything. Are you running out of hope here?
Yes. What do you do when nobody's willing to help you?
I fear for my safety, fear for my life. He has guns.
The fear, it consumed our life.
Angela no longer felt safe, whether she was at home, at her sister's, at her son's place, or even in public around town. Despite reporting everything to the police, nothing was done. Authorities claimed they would talk to Chris or tell him to stop, but no action followed. Angela felt helpless, surrounded by fear, and left without support. She feared for her life, especially since Chris still had access to guns. The fear consumed every part of her life. Although she had tried again and again to get help, Angela's pleas were ignored. Then on October 8th, 2022, the nightmare she had feared became a tragic reality. She was shot and killed while working alone at the Mississippi Ridge boarding kennel. From the evidence and the past events leading up to her death, detectives now understood the motive behind the killing, an obsession that turned deadly. But the biggest challenge ahead was capturing the man responsible. Chris was still on the run, and no one knew where he had gone.
Oh,
You recognize that feller?
is that the guy they're looking for?
Right there, Chris Pritchard.
Yeah.
Do you have a code for 2 for shield?
No, I don't. Oh, I thought you were Danny.
So,
Well, you guys are ready, huh?
well,
I'm ready too. Look at that.
4901.
boy.
No.
So he's never been here?
Not that I know.
Not you're aware of.
Lori knows him from the gas station.
Yeah, I talked to her. That's how I kind of put you involved here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, thanks for stopping by.
Well, I just want to make sure, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to them. I know those two. Good guys.
Yeah.
Never seen him before? Never. So.
The police immediately launched a full-scale manhunt. Officers started canvassing nearby homes and areas where Chris was known to have been seen in the past. They asked residents if they recognized him or had seen anything unusual. At one of the houses, police traced a signal from Chris's phone. Although the homeowners allowed a search, there was no sign of him on the property. The possibility remained that he had slipped in during early hours without anyone noticing, but nothing was confirmed.
Is it usually locked?
Not really.
Can we go through it? We're pinging a phone in this area that belongs to him.
Really? Oh, sure. Yeah.
So can we look around real quick?
Sure.
You think it was possible that he would come in here without you knowing it? You think Danny would sneak him?
Not this time of the day.
So.
Early morning.
It'd be early in the morning.
Oh, yeah, because the doors are locked.
You care if these guys look around?
Sure.
I just want to.
We're not gonna go through drawers or anything. Just make sure there's no bodies in.
That's fine.
So, I just don't. If he's here, I don't want him here with you here, especially alone.
Yeah, that's true.
After the search turned up empty, the officers moved on to a local store where Chris was known to stop by regularly.
What's going on, young lady?
Not much.
I got a few questions I need to ask you.
Yeah.
So, Chris Pritchard.
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw him, talked to him?
Within the last couple days. I want to say like Thursday maybe.
Thursday? Where at?
Here.
Right here?
Yeah, this is the only place I know him.
So, I know you know him more than that, so.
No, I don't.
Well,
Honestly, I don't.
well.
Like, I know that he's Missy's neighbor, Missy Shekel, and that's all I know.
So where's he been staying at?
Chris Pritchard? I thought he was staying at his apartment or something.
His apartment? Where's his apartment at?
Next, in the blue building, like, across from, like, where the new coffee shop is. Like, the blue apartment buildings. It's...
The store was one of the last places he had been seen. Staff there confirmed that he had been visiting frequently, sometimes daily, and was last seen a few days before Angela's murder.
It's coming up here on the left, like where like Missy Shekel lives there. I don't know, like there's like 6 of them there. There's it in the.
So you're talking on Front Street?
Yeah, on Front Street.
By the hotel there, down the.
Not that far, but it's
halfway down.
Grandpa's. Yeah. Like it's like a block before Grandpa's parlor, I'd say.
Okay. So how long has he been staying there?
I have no clue.
Is he staying by himself?
That's what Missy said. Like, I honestly don't know him.
He was often spotted arriving in a black Jeep, though at some point the vehicle had broken down. Further questioning revealed that Chris had not only been seen at the store, but was also believed to be staying nearby.
Like, he's got that black Jeep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was thinking of the same person, but I was pretty sure it was.
When's the last time he's been here? Thursday?
I want to say Thursday.
As in 2 days ago, Thursday?
Yeah, it was like within the last 2 or 3 days.
So,
because he'd come here almost every day.
What was he driving that day?
I want to say his black Jeep.
The black Jeep's been out of commission for about a week.
Oh, okay. Maybe
So, where do you park at?
I don't pay attention to that. I don't know. I just seen him come in. Like, 'cause I just work in the gas station. I don't work, or in the kitchen. I don't work in the.
Oh, you don't work out front?
No.
So, okay. So you haven't seen him since Wednesday or Thursday this week, and he was here?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Some locals thought he was living in a shop or garage, while others pointed to a blue apartment building near a hotel on Front Street. Witnesses recalled seeing him eating alone, appearing restless and anxious. He even asked someone to spy on a car he believed belonged to his wife's lover, suggesting he was still obsessed and unstable. These disturbing behaviors supported the theory that his jealousy and fixation on Angela had spiraled out of control. Despite these leads, no one could confirm his current location.
No, that's been a while ago, 2 weeks ago. I seen him at his garage, and he asked me to go look at this car to see who it was because he thought it was his wife's lover. And I told him I can drive by there, but I don't know anybody, so I don't know what to expect. But I never went back by. So the next time I seen him in here,
You saw him at
his shop.
Shop?
Yeah. He was eating TV dinner with a huge ladle.
The store employees had vague memories of when he last appeared, unsure whether it was earlier that week or even the week before. The uncertainty made it difficult for police to track him down quickly. But one thing was clear. Chris had been active in the area recently, and he was possibly hiding in plain sight.
That's been probably a week and a half ago. It was because I was over cleaning Lisa's apartment, and I was pulling out of the alley, and he said, you know, so I pulled over across the street and talked to him through the window. And he said, see that car up there? Will you go see what? And so I drove up there. I said, I'll come back if I see anything, but I didn't, so I never went back. I mean, I don't know what he was looking for.
Where's he living at?
He was staying in his shop, is what he told me. Because I asked him the other day when he was in, I don't know, he comes in like 2 times a day sometimes to get whiskey.
With Chris still at large, the danger wasn't over. Officers continued gathering information, searching homes and speaking to residents. Angela's death had not only left her family in grief, but also shaken the entire town. Everyone now hoped that justice would come soon and that Chris Pritchard would be found before anyone else got hurt.
Oh, yeah.
What about you? You know Chris Pritchard, senior?
I went to school with his son.
Son. Yeah, we just got a few questions for his dad.
So I heard.
Yeah, so you heard.
I mean, somebody went and posted to Facebook. That really sucks, man.
It does. Yeah, it does. It doesn't make sense. I wish I knew it.
Yeah, it's the same thing that happened to my girlfriend.
Really?
Her, Danielle Reimers. Her mom was murdered that way.
Oh, fire truck.
After speaking with locals and store employees, police were no closer to finding Christopher Pritchard. Many said they had seen him recently, but no one could provide a solid lead on his current location. Officers spoke with people who knew Chris or had seen his black Jeep parked in different places, but none of them could say where he had gone.
He's kind of, so like when I walk or ride my bike, after him and Angie started having, God damn it, after him and Angie started having their problems and the kids moved into the house, Gentry was helping Angie and he knew that. So anytime I would walk, he would drive by me really slow. And he'd go around like wherever block I was on and he would follow me because that's all I do is walk. One night, probably about a week or 2 ago, and I'll look it up because I can tell you the exact day I came home and it was dark and his vehicle was parked literally right in this parking spot. And I took a picture of it. I have a picture of it. You need the picture?
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Yes. Okay. And I know I'm shaking. God, this shit's got me freaked the out. It's just gonna take me a minute.
The tension in the town was growing, and Angela's killer was still on the run. It became clear to detectives that Christopher had likely fled into the wilderness. His scent had been picked up by police dogs, but then lost in the wooded areas surrounding Bellevue. With hundreds of acres of farmland and forest, plus the Mississippi River nearby, it was a vast space to search. Authorities decided to involve local law enforcement, farmers, and even hunters to assist in tracking him down.
I'll let you know if I see anything or hear anything.
If we thought that Chris was going to make his way, say, back to Bellevue, what's the most likely path? Where are his friends at?
While the manhunt continued, Christopher's close friends Jeff Junk and Kim Clean became key figures in the case. The couple had learned about Angela's murder from neighbors, and they were warned by police that Christopher might try to contact someone he trusted. That fear came true on the evening of October 8th, when they heard a knock at their door. At first, they didn't respond, but when the knocking came again...
When the second knock happened, I says, I believe it's Chris, and you need to answer the door.
So you open the door, and what is it that you see on the other side?
I see Chris.
They reluctantly answered. Standing in front of them was Christopher Pritchard, holding a shotgun. They were stunned, but tried to remain calm. Knowing how dangerous he could be, Jeff and Kim made the quick decision to act friendly, hoping to avoid any violent reaction. Christopher told them he had been running from the police and their search dogs all day and just needed a place to rest. They let him inside and tried to keep him talking while staying cautious. As the night went on, Christopher appeared relaxed. He drank alcohol and joked around, showing no sign of guilt or remorse.
Jeff said, "Hey, dude, you shot your wife." "Oh, yeah. How's she doing?"
Did he express any remorse?
No.
Nothing.
Nothing. He was sitting there laughing and drinking, and they were talking about old times.
His attitude shocked Kim and Jeff, especially after he admitted to what had happened without any emotion. Instead of showing sadness or regret, he laughed and behaved as if nothing had occurred. Kim, staying alert, took secret photos of Christopher during the evening. Later, once he passed out from drinking, she quietly removed the shotgun from his reach.
No, he wasn't having any remorse. He never talked about her the rest of the night. And then I took the one when he was passed out.
Jeff then called the police, informing them that Christopher was in their home and unconscious.
I said, he's up here and he is passed out. Come get him.
When officers arrived, they found Christopher still asleep. They woke him, arrested him, and took him into custody without any resistance. He was taken to Jackson County Jail, angry and yelling during the arrest.
What you guys? Jesus Christ, I was sleeping.
He's verbally belligerent to officers that have arrested him.
Looks like he's got a cut to his left thumb.
Do you want your seatbelt, Chris?
I want a bullet in the head.
Along with him, police collected several important pieces of evidence from Jeff and Kim's house, including a 20-gauge shotgun, his ripped clothes, Angela's credit cards, and her cell phone. The next day, on October 9th, Christopher Pritchard was officially charged with first-degree murder and robbery. During his interrogation, he claimed he never meant to hurt Angela. He said he only went to the kennel to talk, but things escalated when Angela told him to leave. According to Christopher, she pushed him, he fell into a cabinet, and the shotgun went off by accident.
She said, you gotta leave now or I'm gonna call the police. Well, I said, I just wanna talk. And she shoved me, and I hit the cabinet. The gun, I don't know what the gun hit, but it went off.
He insisted that the gun was leaning against the cupboard and fired when it fell. However, the detectives didn't believe his story. They pointed out that he showed up armed, at a place he knew Angela would be, despite having a no-contact order.
You show up at a place where you know she's going to be. You've got a gun with her. You know you've got a no-contact order. An argument breaks out. She calls 911. She winds up dead. This wasn't just some accident.
She called 911 before being shot, which clearly suggested that she felt threatened. The investigators challenged his version, stating that the evidence pointed to a planned attack, not an accident.
The gun was leaning up against the cupboards. He went to retrieve a backpack and it fell, and then that went off and shot her.
Christopher continued to insist the shooting wasn't intentional, even suggesting Angela wasn't badly injured at first. But his behavior, both during the murder and afterward while hiding out, told a very different story.
It looked like you hit her in the arm. How would you die from that? I would have loved to have stuck around with Angie and her temper. I thought maybe it didn't even really hit her that bad because she was yelling at me like she wasn't even hurt.
The man who had once been her husband had become her killer, and now, justice had finally caught up with him. Christopher Pritchard continued to claim the shooting was an accident. He insisted that Angela wasn't seriously hurt because she was still yelling at him after the gun went off. But detectives knew this was a lie. They had the 911 recording that clearly captured Angela's final moments.
The fact that he's saying that after the gun went off and it struck her, that she's yelling profanities back at him. Well, we have a 911 recording of that conversation. That did not take place.
In it, Christopher, not Angela, was the one yelling and cursing. There was no evidence of Angela shouting back as he claimed. The tone of the call revealed something much darker. His words and actions during that call made it clear he wasn't panicking or trying to help her. He was angry, hostile, and showed no concern for her well-being.
When you hear his statement standing over her dying body on that 911 call using profanity.
You definitely don't say what he said at the end of the phone call after you accidentally shoot someone.
Angela's autopsy report further disproved Christopher's story. The bullet entered the center of her chest with a downward angle, showing that the shot wasn't accidental or fired from a gun falling over. He had to have been standing, holding the weapon and aiming it at her when it was fired. The detectives had no doubt now. This was not a moment of panic or a tragic mistake. This was a calculated act. Every piece of evidence pointed to premeditated murder. If the shooting had truly been accidental, why didn't Christopher call for help? Why did he take Angela's phone, her only chance of survival, and run away?
We believed that Mr. Pritchard planned this all out, and very meticulously for that matter.
If this was an accident, why are you taking her cell phone, which is her only means of survival? Why aren't you calling for help yourself? Why aren't you rendering any type of aid for your wife?
Why didn't he try to stop the bleeding, or even stay with her until help arrived? Instead, he chose to flee, leaving her alone and dying. This behavior only confirmed what investigators had begun to piece together. Christopher had planned everything in advance. The final turning point came just one day before the murder. On October 7th, 2022, Angela's temporary restraining order against Christopher was officially made permanent. This decision enraged him. Investigators believed this was the moment he snapped. He couldn't accept that she wanted to end things for good.
We believe that that was sort of the snapping point for the defendant. He became more and more obsessed with the situation and not letting her go.
She wanted to drag me through the mud and make me a monster.
Instead of walking away, he became even more obsessed. His anger boiled over and he began preparing to kill her. Christopher took steps to cover his tracks. He didn't use his own vehicle that day. Instead, he borrowed a white pickup truck to create a false alibi. He then drove to a rural area, several miles from Angela's workplace, and hid the truck inside a barn owned by his friends, Lori and Mike Blazer. Inside the vehicle, he left a note claiming he had gone hunting and had left the keys in case they needed to move it. The message was meant to make his absence seem normal. Lori and Mike didn't suspect anything at first. Christopher had always talked about how much he loved Angela and how upset he was about the restraining order. So when they saw the truck and the note, it didn't raise concern. But the next day, everything changed.
You walk in, notice this white pickup truck.
We knew Chris. He would tell us how much he loved Angela, how devastated he was that there was a restraining order.
When news of a shooting at the kennel broke, they immediately realized something was wrong. They knew Christopher had to be involved.
We knew the minute that there was a shooting at the kennel, something had happened with Chris. We were concerned that this was a getaway vehicle for him in here because it was just so odd. It had no reason to be here.
They called 911 and reported the truck, believing it had been part of his escape plan.
I see you guys are looking for Chris Pritchard.
Yes.
His truck is in our garage.
Police arrived quickly and searched the barn. Surveillance footage from the Blazers' property confirmed their suspicions. It showed Christopher entering the barn, parking the truck, and spending time in their horse trailer before leaving.
Let's just get this cleared first.
It was very intense because at that point he was still missing. And we were scared to death.
Clear in here, Jim.
Detectives believed that sometime during the night, he traveled through the woods toward Angela's workplace. By 4 a.m. on October 8th, dogs at the kennel began barking wildly. Investigators believe this was the moment Christopher arrived and hid inside the building, waiting.
We believe his next appearance is around 4 a.m. on October 8th at the dog kennels, in which the dogs start to go crazy.
And you believe from that point forward, he's inside the kennel?
Correct.
Angela arrived at the Mississippi Ridge boarding kennels later that morning, unaware that Christopher was already there. She was alone, as she often opened the facility early in the day. When she entered, she saw Christopher. An argument started. Realizing the danger she was in, Angela called 911. But before she could explain much, Christopher pulled out a shotgun and shot her at 7:39 a.m. He then fled the scene. Even after the murder, Christopher tried to deny everything. He pleaded not guilty to charges of first-degree murder and robbery. But the evidence was overwhelming. The borrowed truck, the surveillance footage, the autopsy report, the 911 recording, all of it pointed to one conclusion. This was not an accident. This was a cold, calculated plan to murder Angela. The trial began on February 7th, 2024. Christopher maintained his not guilty plea. But in March 2024, the court found him guilty of both charges. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For Angela's family, it was a moment of relief. It didn't bring her back.
When they said it, it was just a big sigh of relief. It will never bring her back, but he's going to spend the rest of his life behind bars. I also gave a victim impact statement, and I said to him, I hope while you're behind bars, you always have to look over your shoulder and be scared for everything you do. how she felt. I hope you just feel a tiny bit of that, the way you tortured her.
But it ensured that Christopher would never be free again. Angela was more than just a victim. She was a mother, a grandmother, a sister, and a friend.
Angela was a mother and a grandmother.
She was.
What kind of mother and grandmother was she?
I don't know that you would find somebody better than her. You hear a lot of people say people put their kids in front of themselves. That was truly her.
She was known for putting her family first, always thinking about her children and grandchildren. She loved to make them happy. Her kindness and warmth touched everyone around her. She decorated her home with crafts made by her children when they were young and loved spoiling her grandkids who could do no wrong in her eyes.
She was beautiful inside and out. She liked to make everybody happy, especially her family.
She loved you so much, yeah.
She loved to spoil the grandkids rotten. They could do no wrong in her eyes.
She loved doing arts and crafts. She still decorated her tree with the ones we made when we were kids.
Her life was full of love and light, and her death left a deep emptiness that no court ruling could ever fully heal.
They were the loves of her life, her kids and her grandkids.
Look at how high we are.
But through it all, Angela's family found strength in her memory. They held on to the love she gave so freely and the joy she brought into their lives. And in the courtroom, they finally saw justice served.